hand over to Malaki now.
Yeah, do you mind if I sit?
No, that's fine, yeah. Get your blank screen behind you, please.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't prepared anything like that. And I just want to speak about my experience in Gloucester and the changes I had to make in my life to be able to kind of become successful, I suppose, in the position I'm in now. And in Gloucestershire, if anyone knows Gloucestershire, it's very difficult to be a creative in Gloucester because there's no opportunities at all. Well, little opportunities. I was born in one of the deprived areas of Gloucester, so growing up there wasn't much around. It was hard to get involved in activities or anything like that because, as I said, there wasn't much around. So all I had to do, it was just call a group of friends, and some of them might come around my house, and we might start off by, we were into hip hop then, so it's all just rapping or just making beats of anything we had, with a table, whatever. And what I loved about music like that is hip hop, reggae, grime, which is a form of garage. They were all the same. All those art forms started off with young creatives on the street and just were creative on what they had. So they didn't have much. So if they created a piece of music, it was from maybe a very basic computer or beatbox or rap. It was anything they could utilize around them. So that's how kind of I started. And I can remember the first computer I had, I think I learned the monitor off my uncle, the tower I took from my dad, and my first microphone with a pair of headphones that my auntie got on a flight back from Jamaica. And it was just like, I used what I had around me. And all my friends, when they used to come into my house and record, my mum used to hate it because I'd have loads and loads of people just coming in, recording music. But I was being creative and I didn't even realise it was just a way for me to express myself. And as time went on, I got to a stage where I reached my level of all I could. There was no other opportunities, so I made all these songs. And after collaborating with other artists in Gloucester, is where do you go? What do you do? Who's there to help you? What do I do with all this music? And it's very frustrating because all you think is, wow, I'm going to have to go back into the studio then, or go back into my room and produce more songs. So you have all this catalogue of material and you have nowhere to put it and no one to support you. So that's when my thinking started to change, and I said, okay, well then I'm going to have to take the next step, and then I might have to promote a show. So before I knew it, calling myself a producer then, I suppose I come into the realm of being a promoter, so I put on a show with my friends, and then we invited a big audience, and we started to generate about 500 people into a showcase. And then we found ourselves being promoters now, which this is just us learning it, so we're just learning on the spot as we're doing it. And then, okay, so we promoted the show, we're playing our music, and it was great. Okay, what's next? And a community radio station came up called GFM. And we said, well, just let's have our own show, we can play our own music to our own audience. So then we can become DJs. And again, this sort of learning experience, all these things were learning curves. So by this time we were DJs, and now we're like, okay, what's next? We want to sell our music. So we had to get it pressed onto vinyl, which at this time no one done before. So we said, let's just do it. And we made the money off the shows. So we said, okay, let's just press all this onto vinyl. So we pressed it onto vinyl, and then took it to our local youth club, sold it, also sold it in HMV and other small record stores around. And what we started to realise is, actually, we're a DJ, a producer, an artist, this, and before we knew it, we were creating all the platforms for ourselves. And it's great, because it taught us so much. But in reality, we could only go so far with that because we didn't have the tools or the skills to take it any further than that. And that was one of my biggest frustrations, because you get to a certain point and it's, okay, you can do all that, but what's the next step after that? And I think I was inspired by all those different genres like your grime and hip hop, but you need someone above to give you that hand up. And I think that's where sometimes funding comes involved, because at that time, when I reached that stage, actually let me go back a bit, because I would have got support from my family, but when you live in deprived areas and there's not many opportunities around, it demotivates you. And all my family said to me, you can't make a career from music. There's just no possible way. So from the start, I had that instilled in me. I couldn't become a musician, an artist, or I couldn't make a living for what I wanted to do. So it's very hard when you've got that instilled from you from the start. I think even now, my grandmother, even though I do music, if she did, I think she'd go crazy. And she was always, you know, you have to work hard. When you leave school, go to college, get a job. And I think that's the only way you know. And you have to be confident in yourself and have that self-affirmation where you think, no, I believe in what I do, and I'm going to push in what I do until I get somewhere. And I think, as I said, that's where it started to change for me. And we decided, well, a lot of my friends, everyone was going different directions. So some, they were naturally promoters, so they decided to continue doing promoting. One was a natural DJ, so we continued on doing DJ. And for me, I wanted to build a studio, so I decided to build a studio in a local youth club. And I just wanted to continue working with artists for free, local artists, and just make music, put it on vinyl, see if we could sell it, and try to get more young people into making creative material. After 2 weeks, my studio was robbed, and it was so demotivating for me, it's so damaging, because that was all my money going into something to help the community. And when I look back, I'm not surprised. I would say most of my successes have come from failures and mistakes. And a mistake I done then, I just put a studio in a space, and actually I didn't insure it. You know, there wasn't proper security on the doors or anything like that. The security cameras didn't work. And it was like, wow, when I look back on it, actually, I was like, yeah, actually, that was a pretty big mistake. So the next time now, actually, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to learn, I'm going to insure my equipment. And so what I've realized in all my experiences, it's learning from the mistakes. And I think you'll never, to be an entrepreneur, I think you've got to take risks. And I think you've just got to go with what your instincts. And you have to take those risks, because otherwise you won't really develop and you won't really get anywhere. And yeah, so when that studio got robbed, it kind of put me back a few steps, and it gave me time to really think about where I wanted to go next and what I wanted to do. And my friend came up to me and he said, oh, did you know that you could get funding for what you were doing? And I was like, funding, what's that? Because I never understood the funding word. I was like, you put a project on, you do work, and you get money for it, and you do something else and do this other project. I never understood funding. And he goes, well, it's exactly what you do, but you get free money for it. I'm like, really? Someone's going to give you money to do what you want to do, and you don't have to pay them back. It's like, no. And that's where I come across Unlimited, and they supported me to get my equipment back. They funded me to get my equipment back, and then I had to think, okay, where am I going to house it? And then there was a charity in Cheltenham called CCP, who they ran a supported accommodation for young people, young homeless people. And I was like, wow, are you interested in doing a project? I can provide workshops for your young people, just doing different creative musical activities. And they were like, yeah, great, that'd be amazing. We actually got a free space as well. So I said, okay, I'll bring my equipment into that space and then just run workshops, and we'll see where it takes from there. And then I ran workshops, and it became very popular with having at least 30 young people every evening coming through the studio space every day. And it got to a stage where CCP was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Can we help you kit out the studio even more so we can reach more young people? So like, yeah, definitely. Anything, if you're going to further this project more and help it grow, definitely. So then we refurbished the studio, got it all kitted out, soundproof. And then it gave me opportunity to have an apprentice in and start employing other young people. So what I was realising actually now, I'm giving opportunity to all these other young people wanting to have a career in music where there's no opportunity around. And I started to get inundated with young people saying, oh, can I volunteer, can I help out? And before I knew it, I had a team of 6 young people just helping out around and growing the studio. And then we started to put on events, then we started to do workshops in school, and it's just naturally grown over time, just grown. And yeah, now we're a place, Studio 340 is a community space where I suppose, yeah, I'm the founder and manager, but I don't even need to be there. There's 6 young people in there who's running sessions, working with schools. We work with different organisations on a weekly basis. We run events. We're doing 2 festivals this year. And this is young people who just have the kind of same passion as me, just to get involved in making music. And it's great to have an opportunity for them, because otherwise I don't know where they would go actually, because there are no other opportunities in Gloucestershire to go through music. All the people that I knew growing up that had a great musical career, they moved to London. And I think that's the choice. You're either like, okay, I got to this certain level, do I move to London now? And what you had was all these professionals who could maybe help you or support you move to London. So young people had no role models in the local area. So I think it's very important for me, and as much as I do sometimes work in London, always come back, I can't move to London because I realise how I'm dependent on here to help the community and support the community. And if I'm not here, who is going to be here? And it's my job to motivate the other young people to actually give back to the community as well. So if I can help 5 young people and those 5 young people can help another 5 young people, then we can all grow as a community together and make more opportunities in the area. So Studio 340, that has been a great platform for even now young people who use a studio and to perform, and now it offers an apprenticeship model so young people can come in and gain more experience as well and hopefully gain a musical career. For my personal development as well, I think that has helped me through my whole career, just that whole learning, because I've just learned on every job, I've learned something new. I wouldn't say I'm very, I didn't do that great in school, kind of dropped out. Well, I dropped out of school after, I was going to go into 6th form, but I dropped out, went into college, it wasn't for me. And the only way I learned was just doing. I just was very proactive. Every time I just started a project, I just learned from that and carried on doing it. Yeah, and that's it really, in a nutshell. What I'm doing now is I've gone into artist music management. So me and my business partner, we've set up an artist management company where it's called Scope. So it's support, create, opportunity, progression and empower. And it's for young people from Gloucestershire who are interested in developing a career in music. So after they've gone through all the community platforms, we then work with them to gain a professional development so they can go on into the music career. So we have them set up record deals, whether it's platform performances, whether it's in Gloucestershire or in London. We give them that progression route so they can move on through their career as well. And that came about because I was engineering in a professional recording studio called Yellow Shark in Cheltenham. And even that, kind of just learned that hands-on. I remember the first time going into the studio and the owner said to me, do you know how to use your computer equipment? And I was like, yeah, didn't have a clue. But I think it's things like that which I just learned on the spot. I just had to learn because I've done it bits and pieces of it. It's just like a bigger version of my room. So I just had to sit down and learn it. And then he gave me the opportunity to work in there, which then gave me the opportunity to work with artists like Dionne Warwick, Martha Reeves, and that professional recording studio then gave me more experience. So as much as I can say, it's all about just taking those risks and doing everything. Every opportunity that comes, I've just taken, and it's worked for me. But there's been so many young people who I haven't worked for. And that's what's hurt me the most, is I've seen a lot of friends around me, they've just given up. And I would say there's a lot of them that are more talented than me, but they just haven't had the right support models around them. So, yeah, sorry, going back, I kind of got off the story there. So after I worked in the professional recording studio, he just loved the work that I did, the manager there. So he said, would you be interested in setting up sort of business? And that's where the management label come across. And we're working at the moment with 6 young artists. And one of them's in the middle of signing a deal with Island Records. And up to this day, I suppose, that's my kind of biggest achievement, to know that we've managed to take these young people from a deprived area with no opportunity all the way through the community aspect and now develop them till they're record label ready and going into the industry. And that's also providing with mentoring. So they're not only going into the industry not knowing, they're going into the industry with knowledge of how the industry works. So they're not going to be one-hit wonders, or they're not going to be going down the wrong path of, when you sign a record deal, it's a lot of money involved, and young people have to understand what goes with that as well, because you can go downhill. So, yeah.
Thank you, Malaki. And is Studio 340 Robin Hood a bit as well, that you kind of...
Yeah, so Studio 340, it started off originally, it was at a loss, and CCP decided that they'd bankroll it until I don't know, it grew. And then after 4 years, we realised actually it's full cost recovery now. We charge those young people who can afford it from a wealthy background, and their parents will pay. They pay for that, and then we give free provision for the young people who can't afford it. And then it's also paying the young people who were there as well. So,
yeah, it's a common theme of Robin Hood emerging.